Hi, my name's Hannah Jewell. I study environmental science and I'm from North East Wales. I'd quite like to work in environmental research or science communication. It's really likely that we'll have a lot of cuts to research funding for environmental science in particular. Roughly a third of stuff is at risk. So that's definitely another barrier, is the thought of not even having a place to go into, let alone having to pay your own money for it. Being a woman who wants to enter into a science and engineering subject, there's still quite a lot of barriers for women, and it's still there's still a bit of inequality. So I think that would be another barrier. I moved to Manchester 3 years ago from Wales because I wanted to study sciences, and there weren't really that many opportunities to do that within Wales or close to where I lived, especially science subjects that were focused on research and those sort of things. There wasn't really any opportunity for that. I'd like to move back eventually, but not for a really long time, I think, because there aren't really that many opportunities to work in the environmental field unless you're quite established already. Most people from my area moved away, or they started working for companies like Airbus and the army. Yes, my parents definitely had it easier in terms of the job market and in terms of housing. I think you can pretty much see that in the fact that my parents both owned houses from quite young, got a job straight out of university that wasn't even really in the field that he studied, but was quite a high up engineering job immediately. So I think some of the main issues we have in the country at the moment are housing and unemployment, and I think those are the things that affect individuals the most, because if you don't have a job to go back to or a house to live in, then that's obviously going to be the top of your priorities. But obviously I'm an environmental scientist, and I think climate change is really, really important, and it's not something we can ignore, and it's as much of a pressing issue. Yeah, Brexit definitely affected my job prospects. A third of environmental funding comes from the EU, and a lot of environmental jobs in general also come from ensuring that EU standards are maintained by me. The most for Theresa May to do, or the government to do, is to guarantee funding for environmental issues, especially what with leaving the EU and the EU being one of the big funders, if not the big funder, of environmental research.